So, ladies and gentlemen, California just shocked everyone following the elections that were held yesterday with both Spencer Pratt in the Los Angeles mayoral race and Steve Hilton in the governor's race, doing better than many expected and headed to a runoff in each of their races. And now, hold your horses, because this is California we're talking about. It couldn't just be that simple, because that would be asking too much, apparently. And so the races have not been called yet because they're still receiving mail-in ballots. Woo. And officials say that the count can go on for days, which obviously leaves room for why so many people do not trust California when it comes to the election process.
Vote, but it could take days, guys, before we learn whether she's facing Republican Spencer Pratt or progressive Nithya Raman. California relies so much on mail-in ballots, which slows down the vote counting process. But Pratt is optimistic he can stay ahead of Raman to clinch the second spot in the runoff.
Over these last 3.5 years, we have laid a foundation, and we're going to build on that foundation because we know what a city we have and what a city we can be. We're not going to let somebody turn back our clock. We are not going to do that.
This is the first time since 2005 an incumbent is going to a runoff. This is not a candidate that I'm too concerned about. I was going to be happy if I wasn't moving forward because I would have known that God didn't want me to be the mayor. But now I feel very confident that I'm going to continue to work hard.
Now, Spencer Pratt does have a reason to be confident because between himself and the Socialist Democrat, Nithya Raman, basically over 50% of voters said they do not want Karen Bass. But because California kind of has this jungle primary system where it's the top two vote getters end up in a runoff if no one gets 50%, here we are. And so with this November runoff, it gives Spencer Pratt more time to make himself known to the voters while also allowing Karen Bass to get exposed for the job she's been doing when it comes to the city of Los Angeles. And Pratt wants to continue to expose Karen Bass by debating her more because the first debate did not go well for Bass. Take a listen.
Are you going to debate Karen Bass again? And what do you want to tell her if she sees this?
You know, I love debating her on NBC. I look forward to a couple more on NBC and Fox. We can do debates every Friday if she would like, because this actually became my most favorite thing to do. So, yes, as many debates as Mayor Bass would like.
What would you like to tell her now that it's on, between the two of you?
Oh, I mean, she knows it's on. I hope she's ready, because I literally could not be more excited.
So with this campaign, Spencer Pratt has obviously shocked everyone with his ability to capture the attention, connect with the people in Los Angeles who are just tired of the conditions that Democrats have been responsible for in the city. This could be a turning point, what we're watching here, ladies and gentlemen. But let's check out one more clip from Spencer Pratt. Take a look.
Again, I got in this because as a citizen, I felt like my city failed myself, my neighbors, my family. And when I got on this mission now, I look around and the city's failing most of Los Angeles. And now I'm in all these communities and I'm hearing everyone's issues and problems. People are all across the city
You're talking about homelessness, you're talking about drugs, you're talking about crime, you're talking about the lack of police, fire department.
The list of failures across the city. There's people that just want the potholes fixed. Mayor Bass has allowed the city to be covered in potholes. We don't have sidewalks. We don't have lights. So on the basic level, there's people that care about that. Then there's the moms who want to be able to go to the parks and not see anybody shooting up fentanyl with their pants off. I was in the Valley yesterday, a beautiful Persian restaurant, and the lovely owner said, Spencer, they have naked drug addicts in front of the kids when we're trying to have food at the restaurant. This is across the city. And again, as mayor, I'm going to help these homeless people.
Yeah, and so with him taking a commanding lead and headed to a runoff with Karen Bass, Nithya Raman, the Democrat socialist, was left in tears after realizing that this race is basically over. Check it out.
Person in this room is fighting for in this campaign has been about building a city that's worthy of you and every child in this city.
Here's the thing. Los Angeles has been so far progressive left for so long that this is still going to be an uphill battle for Pratt. If these people are truly tired of the conditions that they see, at some point, they will have to actually, attempt to do something different. While you cannot depend on government to fix all your problems, because that's not what they're there for, there are certain issues that you can hold them accountable for. You know, like how they spend your tax dollars, how they handle crime, affordability. And so ultimately, if people keep choosing the same leadership, then they shouldn't really expect much change.
Panel for some final thoughts on this election night. What are you thinking? California Democrats, this is a bad night for you. You've had weak candidates. And on the other side of the ledger with the Republicans, these are also candidates that, generously speaking, should not be performing as well as they are, and yet they are performing well. And this is a warning shot for you.
Look, I think Karen Bassett's an embarrassing performance for an incumbent mayor. If Mr. Pratt does not win this tonight, if he doesn't make it to the final runoff, she should still be embarrassed. Message sent by Los Angeles voters: the Democrats suck, and they need to do something to fix their city.
Karen Bass won tonight and lost the argument, and Spencer Pratt has won that. He's not likely to win in the general, though.
If anyone should be worried, it should be Karen Bass. She keeps going on about how much she's turning around Los Angeles, right? She's cleaning up the streets when it comes to the homelessness. But then on the other hand, she's struggling against what the media keeps highlighting as a reality TV star. And so clearly she's not doing what she says she's doing. Not to the point where people believe it enough to overwhelmingly choose her. Because if she had received 50% of the vote, this would be over. But she could not even do that. Let's continue.
Something that's driven me crazy about this race. When you look at the numbers, already right now, a majority of Los Angelinos are saying they want to fire Karen Bass. 50% of the voters that are up right now say they want somebody other than the incumbent to be the mayor. So the Spencer Pratt thing, to me, isn't even really about Spencer Pratt. It's a vote sink for people who are fed up with the way that that city's been run or fed up with the fire response. And if this were any other city outside of California where you'd had normal primaries, Karen Bass with those numbers would be toast.
Exactly. But nonetheless, this is California. This is Los Angeles we're talking about. And so the fact that Nithya Raman was able to get, 22% of the vote as a far left progressive Democrat socialist demonstrates that there may not be enough people in Los Angeles really ready for the change that people complain so much about and claim that they want. And that's something that Fox News highlighted. Take a listen.
It's troubling because you want to root for Pratt. And you saw this online movement, and you even saw in the streets people saying that they want to change. But it's just not reflective in the vote counting right now. Right now, it's looking like people are voting for the same old, same old. I mean, if you combine Bass, who's an incumbent, for mayor, and the councilwoman, Raman, 22%, which are the progressives in this race, the people aren't voting for change. So you can burn down people's houses, have needles all over the street, an education system that is failing and crime all over the place, and yet they're worried about Pratt being a celebrity and what they say is someone with no experience.
And what you're saying is, so you look at Bass, you see 34%. Now, this is still an unbelievably low for an incumbent. It's embarrassing.
Correct.
She's totally ineffective. Pratt comes out of nowhere as a Republican, but really running as an independent, and seems to have locked up second place. And Raman is an extreme lefty who wants to defund the police. No one's going to forget that. So let's say they two advance. The only reason I would give the mayor's shot for a Republican more than the governor's shot for a Republican, even though Steve Hilton deserves so much credit for coming in first, it seems, or within, he's up by about 2 points with 63%, is because you have 4 more months. And she's Karen Bass is such an inept executive, and she is such a terrible campaigner, and he's just the opposite. And if he could make his, hey, I'm not a Republican, I'm an independent, it doesn't do any good to be tight with Trump in Los Angeles, then that's the way I would run.
Listen, I'm sure Karen Bass is going to spend her time from now to November attaching Trump and Spencer Pratt together because she knows that there are enough people in Los Angeles who suffer from Trump derangement syndrome, right? But here's the problem. The problem is that she's still on the job, and that leaves more time for her to be exposed. And that is not a good look for her campaign. And this is a perfect example of what could be more to come. NBC News decided they did not like what these voters were exposing about Karen Bass and calling out the damage she has done to Los Angeles. And so they, had to, cut them off real quick. Check this out.
Because he's speaking out against communism and socialism, and it is a real big problem in our cities, especially in LA where it's turned to crap. It's not an accident. They're doing it by design. Karen Bass wants to destroy our city, and it's nice to see someone like Spencer Pratt.
I can simplify it because those buzzwords are like they melt the brains of like left, leaning people. So let's just say it this way: he doesn't want human feces to be a part of your life. Yeah. He doesn't want homeless children outside.
Totally.
Homeless
Thank
people
you.
Outside. Oh,
We
you
have-
didn't
no.
like that.
We have-
She ran away.
We
He doesn't want homeless people outside of
we
the elementary
appreciate
schools
you.
having
Can I get a
sex
shout out real
with
quick?
their
We
own
appreciate
hands
you.
in front of the children.
We appreciate you. We've talked a lot about the homelessness. Thank you. All right. I'm gonna.
Listen,
don't
Liz.
appreciate you, ma'am.
I got it. Thank you for navigating that so well.
No, we can.
And so that's what's happening in Los Angeles. But there's also a statewide election that was taking place in California with the governor, where voters are deciding who will take over after Gavin Newsom. And right now, Republican Steve Hilton is in the lead. Now, of course, California has not called it yet, but take a listen.
I'm not making that up, all right? Steve Hilton, too soon to call. You got about 58% of the estimated vote in right now, but a lot of mail ballots going to continue to come in for some time, and that's what slows down the counting. Hilton's got a slight edge here, about 2.5 points over Becerra. And Tom Steyer, by the way, Tom Steyer spent more than $200 million. Right now, he is in third place. But how does the state shake down here, all right? Hilton in red dominates inland, all right? Becerra in green dominates the coastline, and Steyer picks up a few counties down here around Santa Barbara. Let me pop out of California, one county down there around Santa Barbara. Let me top in here and show you what's happening in the mayor's.
All of the candidates caution that this could take some time to learn the results, but both Hilton and Becerra started to preview what their November messaging might look like if they do make it to that matchup. Take a listen.
I sued Trump more than 120 times before, and I won, and I won, and I won. And anyone who wants to come at California will have to go through me.
Change is coming. Change. Change is coming to California. Change is coming to California, and it's long overdue.
That right there is why Democrats are losing their grip on California. While, listen, make no mistake about it, there are still a large number of far left progressives where all you need to do is say Trump's name, and they will run out and vote for whichever Democrat without questioning what you're actually going to do to improve the condition. But clearly, based on how Steve Hilton is performing, and to a lesser extent, Chad Bianco, who is in fourth place, it demonstrates that more voters in California are starting to ask the question, okay, Trump is bad, but what are you doing for the state of California that you're actually responsible for as governor? Because this is the thing Democrats continue to try and remove themselves from, accountability. Listen, at some point, Trump won't be around, and they won't be able to keep on blaming the president.
What is it about Hilton that you think is striking a chord? Because we were talking during the break of, like, who does he represent in the sliver of the Republican coalition?
Well, as Antoine was saying earlier, I would have a more charitable view of it. These outsiders, these independent people, these people that aren't in politics, that's what Republicans are looking for. Is they're looking for someone that can speak to their concerns for their families. You know, it's really tough to get by for working families these days, and they know that the current regime of Democrats are in California public office.
The California term is disruptor from Silicon Valley, right? Like someone who's going to come in and break a system they think is not really working. But there's such a coalition of Republican voters right now. When you look at him, is he like a Bannon MAGA? Is he a TPUSA? Is he a free speech warrior? Like, what am I looking at here?
I think he's doing a good combination of building a winning coalition, tapping into all of these different mini groups and the podcast circuit.
But does he hold Trump's policies close?
No, I think he respects President Trump and how he's disrupting D.C., but I think he's going to have his own flavor, and you have to in California. What I'm paying attention to, though, Audie, and my team is we're analyzing the married vote in California. What we've found is that the married vote, married men, married women, they are the real base of the Republican Party, and it's a leading indicator for Republican success going into November. It's going to determine whether or not Republicans have a good night of election day.
I mean, listen, one day Trump is not going to be in office and Democrats will be in big trouble because then they're not going to be able to blame him for everything like they love to do now. Gavin Newsom and his policies are the reason why California has been decimated. But because it's California, and there are just certain inherited advantages that come with the state. You just look at their infrastructure, their history, just things that have been in place for decades now. That's why Democrats get to use it as a crutch and say, look at all the things we're doing here. See how great things are here? But things are really not that great. California could be doing so much better if it had leadership that actually knew what they were doing. But those are my thoughts in the update. Now I want to hear from you. Drop your comment down below. As always, smash that thumbs up if you enjoyed the content. For more, subscribe to the channel. And as always, until next time.